All right, good day, good day. You are back with the guillotine again, the place where we make heads roll. But anyway, um, I got a request for all of my brothers and sisters, all of my Black Americans out there. From now on, when these European terrorists bring up Chicago and the violence in Chicago, please do me a favor and respond and bring up the violence in Colorado. Now, on the screen right here, I was just doing some reading this morning, and Chicago has 2.7 basically 2,700 surveillance cameras in the city, and really that's a small number because it's more than that. But anyway, these European terrorists, and they are everywhere, and so are their sympathizers. How they always talk about the violence in Chicago, but isn't it funny how they have no suspects, no videos, no nothing, just a bunch of European terrorist babble? Now, I don't know how many of you have ever really been to Chicago, been around Chicago, but besides it being full of white people running around everywhere, you have a lot of foreign coons that live there. Okay, there are a lot of foreigners that live in Chicago, and you'd be surprised how much of the violence that's in Chicago comes from foreigners, not Black Americans. But anyway, so anytime these white folks bring up the violence in Chicago, right, bring up the violence in Colorado, not a city, the entire state of Colorado. And the reason why I say this, because I've learned throughout my travels of this country that belong to Black people, they do their best to keep the Colorado news pretty much out of the regular news from other states. If you don't really live in Colorado, you're really not going to know too much about what goes on here. So let me be one of the first ones to tell you. For beginners, Colorado, from border to border, is full of crackheads, full of them, full of meth addicts, opioid addicts. They scooping them up out of driveways. They scooping these white drug addicts up off the sidewalks, out of parking lots, like they're overdosing left and right. Okay, let's talk about the Latinos and the Hispanics and the violence up here. Okay, these Latinos, they are up here shooting up parks, intersections, playgrounds, all that good shit, but you really never hear about it. But when it comes to the mass shooter, the European terrorists, they are by far the most violent in Colorado. They robbing banks, they robbing cell phone stores, they're shooting each other in the middle of the fucking road for doing traffic arguments, I guess running into each other. They're shooting up schools, which of course you already know that, on top of movie theater. I mean, put it like this, name it, and the Europeans here in Colorado have shot it up. And if the Europeans haven't shot it up, the Latinos and the Hispanics have shot it up. From now on, don't you ever again let these people talk to you about no damn Chicago or no black on black violence. Anytime you hear about Chicago, anytime you hear about black on black violence, just counter that shit with the fucking white on white violence in Colorado. I give you an example. Here in Colorado, they just found suitcases with LGBT European individual chopped up in the suitcases and thrown on the side of the road. And guess who did that? person. They had a white boy who shot a white woman in front of his apartment for letting her dog poop in the grass in front of his apartment. He shot and killed her, shot her with an AK-47. But anyway, if you don't live in Colorado, you will not see or hear half the shit. As long as I've been in Colorado, these motherfuckers have had multiple mass shootings up here. I don't know what it is about Colorado, but they breed mass shooters here. On top of, they just stacking foreigners on top of foreigners on top of foreigners. And they have a lot of interracial relationships. And one thing I've learned about these interracial relationships is that most of these white people, whether they're male or female, who are in these interracial relationships, their objective, their mission is to basically raise another European terrorist sympathizers. They still call you niggas. They still, the mixed people, they still call you niggas. They still call you all that. But they want you to be able to grow up and sympathize with white people and go against black folks. But anyway, yeah, and then you see the news. They arrested another individual down in Atlanta, Georgia, for going to a gun store with 5 guns and a bulletproof vest, and he didn't fire a shot. Now, I think this was a black dude, okay? And if what I'm seeing is true and it was a black guy, the black guy wasn't about that life. I don't know what his purpose of going there was, trying to be like his fellow white man, I guess. But yeah, but it's just weird. It's weird as hell how white people will sit up here and tell us that we are the problem. We are the violent ones. We're the thieves. We're the liars. No. European terrorists are the original thieves. Do you understand the Europeans are the original terrorists? Anybody in the Middle East, when it comes to drive-by shootings, when it comes to IEDs, all of that shit originates from Europeans. And you are black people, you are going to hear a fight when it comes to reparations, because for me and you to get what's owed to us, that means that European terrorism has to end, or the exile of European terrorists. There is no in between. These white people have lied they have told some of the most outrageous lies that I'm at the age of my life that it's hard for me to believe that our ancestors even paid these lying people any type of attention. It just fucking kills me. But the one thing I will say before I get out of here is the fact that for all of you Europeans who want to send me messages and comments talking about how racist that I am, my response to you is, says the European terrorist, right? Just like the dude that shot up the grocery store over in Boulder, right? He was from Syria. Here in America, he's considered to be white. But if you really, really think about it, and if you want to play devil's advocate, aren't they bombing the Middle East? Ain't they been bombing the Middle East for the last 20 years? See, there's a lot of things that these European terrorists do not tell you. For the example that there are a few black areas that white man that shot up King Soopers could have went to. He did not do that. He went to the area where the European terrorists dwell. Boulder, the area that he went to that is primarily white. He did not get in his car and drive over to a black area, a black store, a black neighborhood. Now I'm gonna say it again, just mind you that the Europeans are bombing the Middle East, been bombing the Middle East for the last 20 years or so, and I'm just saying. And then on top of that, they want to try to ban our guns, and really the whole ban your gun thing. The only people, they feel like the only people who should have guns are white people, because the reason why they buy out all the guns, I'll say it again, is because they will kill me and you and themselves before they ever return this country to who it really belongs to.